Hey everyone, welcome to another MLM Dumpster Fire. Today we're back for our part 2 from Eric's podcast with Gina and Steve. If you have not watched part 1, I would highly recommend because these people have said some out there stuff that made me really uncomfortable. I think I've had the most dramatic reaction in my videos to one of the things that they said. But anyway, yeah, I would definitely recommend not watching this part first. Go watch part 1. And if you're here for part 2, thanks so much for coming back. We still got 50 minutes left, so we're just gonna get into it straight away. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. As always, big shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. And let's just get straight into it.
Let me ask you about that specifically. There's a lot of people in network marketing. They're so passionate about their product. They believe everybody in the world should know about it. And they're very comfortable talking about the product.
Yeah.
Very comfortable. But when it comes time to talk about the business side, they choke. They clam up. They feel kind of icky. Like I was willing to benevolently share this product with you because it can help change the world. But the business, now they're going, ooh, I'm connected. You know, people are going to view me different, whatever. They freeze up.
Right.
What advice do you have for people who get into that situation, and how to?
You know, it's funny because like if you work at a proper corporate like sales job or something, I'm sure you probably don't feel icky trying to sell people stuff because it's your job. You are a salesperson, right? So it's interesting to me that they're kind of acknowledging that people feel icky about trying to recruit others into their MLM biz because yeah, it is icky because everyone knows or feels down somewhere deep down that it's wrong and it's icky and you're trying to recruit these people for your personal and financial benefits. At least they're acknowledging that part. But yeah, of course, it's gonna go into like, well, you shouldn't. It's just weird. It's a big red flag. Like imagine if you're actually at an interview, at a job interview or something, and your employer tells you something like this. It will be a big red flag to me anyway. I don't know.
They get out of it.
Yeah. I think it kind of goes back to their comfort zone. They're worried about what the people think, but realistically, the people are more worried about what people think of them, not you. So I don't know why you're so hung up on that. And if you do what I did, I always put the dream in front of me. The dream's going to make me open my mouth. And if you really know from our experience, 32 years, the ones that get in for the business are the ones that are going to rock it. I mean, some people will say, well, I want to, this is a customer, but I hate to tell you, even if you got a great product, the person gives this incredible testimony about the product, they get off subscription or off auto ship. The person making $100 a week in the business, $200 a week, surely at $500 and $1,000 a week, never, ever get off subscription. So when you know this, I mean, sometimes they might not, sometimes they don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? Like we're talking to them today. So if they're listening, those are the ones that are going to stay on subscription no matter what, because they are building it for their business. But you got to get past that, what people are going to think of you, because I will say since the pandemic, this is really good that more people are proactive about their health, no matter what, since the pandemic. They were much more proactive. But secondly, in the 80s.
Yeah, no. I'm just gonna say no and move on to that because like if you feel icky about it, you should probably take a step back and think, why do you feel icky about it? And if this is what you want to overcome, because if I feel icky about something because I'm doing it for my personal financial benefits and those people are not getting anything in return, if I look at it logically, I would not be in the MLM anymore. I would just leave it and start doing something that's not gonna feel icky and that you're not gonna have to overcome the icky feeling about it, Also saying like, oh, you should just get over it and get over what people think of you. Yeah, it's great if you can do that, but it's not that easy. Nothing new again for MLM coaches being like, oh, you just have to do this or you just have to stop doing that. No, yeah, they rarely say do this. They usually say stop doing that, but they never give you advice on how to actually stop doing that, which like I said, it's not that easy to just switch and not care about what people are going to think about you. That's not how that works.
In the 90s, everyone would be like, you're in an MLM or network marketing. It's totally, now it's like, is this an MLM? Okay, great. I mean, it's a whole different mindset. And
Complete
sometimes
shift.
people haven't gotten past that. They're still back in the...
Where do you live? What? I'm so confused. Did this man have a social media account? Like what? Because I feel like back in the day, there was a lot less research and information, so it was easier to recruit people. But nowadays, it's not that easy. There's a whole anti-MLM movement out there, for God's sakes. People know what MLMs are. It's easier to Google them, to do research, and to see that the majority of people fail. They never make any profit because the business model is flawed and it's unethical, in my opinion. Where did he pull this one out? I don't know.
80s. Yeah, we're out there talking and everyone's listening. So don't put yourself in a box thinking, don't try to make your answer for the person that you're talking to. You're trying to like assume what they're going to say. Put it out there. You don't know. I mean, in the same breath that we talk about a product, we say, hey, because this product has these great testimonies, nobody knows about it, everybody needs it. That screams opportunity. So in my same breath, I'm talking about product and opportunity. So now it's all up to that person to tell me whether, I don't care if it's a super cold contact I just met at the hardware store, or if it's somebody that is just in my cell phone. I'm letting them know right off the bat what we got our hands on, and then let the person. So if you kind of get it out there right away, you don't have to worry because you set it all together instead of just, if you only talk about the product and then all of a sudden you sneak it in, that's kind of worse sometimes.
Right.
And just laying it out there. You know?
I think there's just more emotion, and like, I never forget where I came from. So when I was at the airlines, I walked in one day and I got a 50% pay cut. Then I walked in another month later and I got my health insurance. We had to pay $300 out of our own pocket. Then maybe 2 months later, they took our parking lot away. And I said to him, if I keep working here, I'm going to have to pay them to go to work. But I think that if you don't forget where I got in this kind of industry for the money.
Yeah.
And I think if you realize that, most people, the majority, are looking for extra income. When you can do that, because what we were in, I didn't get a feeling off laundry soap.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people are roped in with the promises of extra income, just like you did right there. Now, what's her name? Gina, I had to write their names down on the paper. The only problem is that the majority of people in MLMs never make any profit. Yeah, if you want extra income, you should not join an MLM because you're gonna end up paying a lot more for the products, for the website, starter kit than you're ever gonna get back in your MLM. All the data, statistics, my sources are gonna be linked down below in the description box. We've got FTC. I'm gonna link a few income disclosure statements from different MLMs. Amway is gonna be one of them. And if you're new here, you can take a look and you can see that I'm not just here making stuff up. It's statistically proven that up to 99% of people across all multi-level marketing companies never make any profit. So whatever she's about to say there, it doesn't apply to MLMs because people don't make profit in MLMs. They don't make an income in MLMs. Even if they get a paycheck or something, they're still not profiting. The majority of them are not profiting.
Any of the products,
so many
it wasn't a feeling. I was in it really for the money to make that extra what I had gotten, the pay cut. Of course, all the pay came back and everything. But at that time, I knew that, gosh, we needed to make $500. We needed to make $1,000 a week to replace what I got missed. And I knew that it was possible. We could do it.
And a truck costs three times more than when the pandemic started. So and people's raises haven't been keeping up, and their kind of attitude was in the 80s and 90s that my job or my company, my boss is going to take care of me. Everyone has woken up. If they haven't woken up, they're still sleeping. I mean, something has gone wrong because now everyone has woken up that they got to do something, and there is nothing better than a non-brick.
Okay, so as someone who has gotten a pay freeze at the end of last year in my full-time job, which I'm already on low pay on that job. I mean, I hope by the time this video comes out, I'm finally gonna be freelancing my own stuff because I've been working really hard to transition. I got a pay freeze, but that doesn't change the fact that I still get a paycheck. And I have video editing and YouTube on the side, which gives me some extra money. Again, like MLMs are not a solution. The majority of people never make any profit. So you trashing employers and trying to say how you're so uncertain there and unsafe and whatever, while you're in an MLM, like seriously, MLMs are so much worse.
And mortar, no employees, no overhead.
Absolutely.
You can't get started. Most people don't even have
It's emotional.
Most people always dreamt to have their own business, but they never had the guts to start. The risk to reward for any network marketing company is so much greater. because compared to the cost it starts to get in a conventional business. So I really, if you talk to them the right way and help them, I haven't had one person I've ever shared that didn't want the end result of a network marketing company.
Sure.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. It was
That's a
always,
fact.
they tried
Yeah.
to make an excuse.
What is the end result? The end result for the majority of people is not making any profit. A lot of them go into debt and then they quit the MLM. That is the end result for most people that join MLMs.
But they really, it was what you said, their self-esteem. Usually it's themselves that's holding them back. They don't want their friends to know that they're doing, that they're, whatever they picked in their career wasn't,
Or they don't
competent.
see themselves doing this.
Or that, yes.
Right.
Could be
This
that.
was not
But
my model.
If they understand the industry and what it offers and what you literally, the dollars that you put in, what you're going to get back is completely mind blowing. But
Yeah.
they just don't understand it. They don't know what it is, and or they've got a concept that's completely in right field, right?
Right.
So once you explain it to them,
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Gina. So you specifically, you guys have been involved for a long time. What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned personally over the course of your career
yeah.
that would be helpful for somebody that's listening?
Okay. Wow. For some reason, and I don't really know why, but I've had a lot of girls come at me saying, I copy their eyeshadow. I dress like them. I'm like, Steve, I don't even dress like them. She dresses slutty. I dress more classy, professional. But okay, so this couple literally called us down to their house, 4 houses from ours. And we sit there and I thought,
I'm a little bit confused by what she just said. Wait, she just shamed someone for dressing slutty, whatever that means. But in the part 1, if you watched it, she was talking about how she got into a bikini and high heels on a boat to get the men, to attract the men to come to the boat. And like, I feel like that's very hypocritical. Like, obviously, I don't care either way. You dress whatever you want. You attract attention in whatever kind of way you want. It has nothing to do with me.
you're just going to say we're ready to step it up, baby. No, it was not that. They were ready to chew me up and spit me out. So as we're sitting there, and Steve probably could see my whole demeanor, but I tried to stay strong and confident. And this girl literally just chewed me up and spit me out. I wear her same purple eyeshadow. I dress like her. I'm this and that. And I just literally sat there, my biggest learning lesson, and I ate crow. And probably for girls, because we're so much more emotional than a guy, we're more sensitive. You got to let crap like that roll off.
So, but
You literally
did
do.
you in the moment?
I did. Literally,
Really?
we sat there.
Yep.
I didn't say a word. We left, and I said,
It was a
"We got
tough,
home."
tough talk.
Oh, it was
Like chew you out.
It wasn't like a 10-minute
That's why
talk,
she's
Eric.
not winning,
It was
all because
like,
of Gina is
Right.
copying her.
It was like an hour and
You
a
know,
half.
and-
Talk.
and it,
Right.
it can
So-
happen. For some
so,
reason,
but-
the women, they,
I mean, that's weird as well, the fact that whole thing happened from both sides. I feel like it's weird. I thought that's a sisterhood, and I thought everyone supports everyone in MLMs. What is this, Gina?
could get picked on that kind
The
of
mean
thing.
girl thing.
Yeah.
You know, The
Yeah.
competitive thing.
And probably just jealousy.
Yeah.
It-
And
it-
I
it
just
could be.
loved her
Yeah.
for where she was. I just
Did it
loved her
affect
for
the
who
relationship?
she was. No,
No.
we just keep going.
Really?
Keep going.
So you're just like, but
You got to let
Sometimes-
stuff go.
Yeah,
because I
but-
knew I didn't do anything wrong.
but is
And you say you're sorry.
if you kind of allow somebody to like run you over,
Right.
aren't they going to keep doing it?
No.
At some point,
she
at some point,
didn't.
she
No,
didn't. She
no,
just needed
she
to get it
didn't.
off her
She
chest.
just
That
got
was
it off her chest, and that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting because that's also very individual because some people are gonna keep running you over. Like, why are we just trying to generalize something that happened to her? That's, in my opinion, very rare because knowing from like my previous bosses or coworkers, if you let people run over you, they're gonna keep doing it. Usually from my own experience, it's like, yeah, people are gonna keep doing that until you stand up for yourself. So yeah, I mean, this is random and the outcome doesn't happen often either.
I think we learned a lesson years ago when we were grinding it out here, learning in those 3 years. We weren't doing what we wanted to have. Our upline used to always say, you want to be rich or do you want to be right?
And that is something
So
that
we
he
really-
always would say to me because, you know, us girls
I would say that to her
are
all the
more
time.
like, I mean, the way I feel between him and I, we need to be more right or be heard. And I think that when he said that to me, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? And I don't even remember what circumstance it was.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I literally was like, he is so right. This is so, what a way.
I mean, speak for yourself, Gina. Some of us out here don't have the need to always be right.
All right.
Of energy and time.
So
Yeah.
back to that
Yep.
that incident. You just took it, moved forward. She needed to get it off
Well,
her
it wasn't
chest.
the first time.
She did.
The last time, I should say.
Yeah. So if somebody tried to have that same conversation with you today,
Oh, I would
Some-
completely listen and I would completely say, I'm sorry. And I would just let it go and move on because
really,
it's just something that someone's dealing with and you have to just walk them through. You have to let them know I'm no threat to you.
I would have a hard time.
Yeah.
Like if somebody was like, if somebody was doing
Yeah.
my wife or whatever, I would just like, hey.
Yeah. And I've actually recently I had a girl come to me and said that so-and-so said, you're going to take all her glory in recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, but have I ever
Mm-hmm.
got up and spoken that I did all the work, even though I'm by your side? And she said, no. And I said, then let it go because it's not true.
All right.
But sometimes people were going to throw stuff to stumble you. And it's, you know, whether it's the way they were raised, the way they were taught, their insecurity of themselves,
So you just decided,
jealousy, whatever it is.
decided to
There's
have-
so many things, you know,
you decided to have compassion and just let it go,
let it
roll
go,
through it.
roll through
All
it.
right. Give
I mean,
me
we've been told at conventions that you have to calm down.
Yeah.
You're too excited.
Too fun.
You can't use silly string.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't. I mean, we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, but that's who we are. We
Right.
just love the energy
Yeah.
and especially at conventions, you know, the energy and the
Sure.
community with the people it's
Yeah.
amazing.
So give me another lesson. Something else that happened over just from your perspective. What's another lesson that was important that you that helped you
You got one
or
for me?
defined you
Yeah.
over the course of of your career? Maybe it was a defining moment. Maybe it was a difficult day. Maybe it was a big accomplishment, some realization, some kind of like, wow, this is like the real key
Mhm.
to success. Any of those things, if that triggers anything for you.
Try
You
to
think of
think
anything?
Uh,
How about
well,
you?
There's so many things.
How about you?
It's
Give me a lesson that you've learned.
I mean, I think the best thing for a leader
Mhm.
is to not forget where you came from. Okay. So when you're talking to new people, they can't relate to Lamborghinis and, flying on private jets. And, sometimes you're talking a little bit too much money.
Of course they can't, but I also would like to know, out of the 71,000 people in your downline, how many leaders do you have? Like, how many people are actually earning like millions or hundreds and thousands every single month or year even, whatever. I'll take year as well. I'd be really curious to hear how many people are actually successful leaders that have Lamborghinis and whatnot. Come on.
So bring it down a little bit and let them know that you're not afraid to roll up your shirt sleeves as well. I mean, that's really how it's going to work. It doesn't matter how successful you are in the business if you want to keep going. Now, if you want to hit a certain level and that's where you want to stay and you don't want to go to the next level, then just start telling the people what to do. It's not till you're down there in the trenches, rolling up your shirt sleeves, willing to help them make the phone calls, help them to hit the next rank. And there's nothing of a better feeling, by the way, if you've never done one of these businesses before. First of all, the emotion of a product could be great. I like that. But I love the emotion of winning.
Mhm.
You win. And the great thing about this is everybody wins, not just myself wins. I like to help my friends win. And that sometimes is a better gratification when they win than when you win. It's even more emotional always because a lot of the times, 85% of the people we work with never succeeded in networking and they've hit millions. Out of 176 people we've helped make $1 million or more, 85% never were a network marketer.
Mm.
So I love that. Now, a lot of them, they all claim they are now, of course, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But when they met us, they weren't.
Right.
So I love that accomplishment. And I love teaching those people too, because they're not like acting like they know everything.
Mhm.
Now it is a little difficult sometimes.
Okay, so out of 71,000 people in their downline, only 176 people are successful. He said earned $1 million. Now that can mean a lot of different things. That does not probably, in my opinion, it doesn't mean that they're still continuously earning millions. It could also just mean that they sold $1 million. But whatever it is, 176 people out of 71,000 people in your downline. That is a bad I'm surprised that he even said that, because usually they don't say their numbers because they're so bad. But also I feel like he's trying to say that they're not networkers, so they're not successful because they don't actually try to network, or they don't want to be millionaires or earn millions, whatever, which is not true. Like, people are not joining this MLM business. She said it earlier, or even in part 1. People join for the income. People join because they need the money. I know why he's saying that. He's trying to make it sound not as bad. The fact that only 176 people from 71,000 people in their downline are seeing some kind of success proves everything that I've said earlier and in part 1. Like, the majority of people are just not going to be successful. Also, let's just make sure to repeat that he did not define that these people are earning millions regularly. He did not define if they sold $1 million or earned $1 million, profited $1 million even. He did not make that definition. I feel like if he did, it would be less people than 176.
When people don't understand system and they don't understand duplication because they've never done a network, you kind of want to be your own person, but you still can be your own person, but you got to fall into that duplication pattern that so many people, I couldn't tell you how many people in networking do not understand the power of keeping it simple and the same. And they think that, like, an opportunity meeting, if you're like, I don't want to pick on folks that very educated, but they seem to want to make something easy hard.
Yeah.
Because they can't believe that when they go on to an opportunity meeting, that it's the same, that they should be on there. But they miss the point. They need to be at the event, or they need to be in person on the Zoom, for instance, with guests pointing to them saying, look at this. Like, we made millions and millions over a 15-year span, watching the exact same video every night for 15 years, acting like it was the first time we seen it. Did you see that? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And many people think that, well, I shouldn't do that because I've already seen that movie, or I've already seen that presentation. No, it's not about you. It's for you.
Who taught you to keep it so fresh? Because it's easy for people to get bored.
Yeah.
I'm bored with this. Yeah. I'm bored with that.
I think our mentality is, we don't want to make life complicated. Like, in any other career that you're in, you've got to be really good at it. Okay. For instance, flight attendant. If you don't know what you're doing, people are going to get hurt. Okay. Me, I was a sales rep after being a pro athlete. And if I didn't know my pitch, the people that are going to eat my lunch. Okay. So I love this because, if you're a doctor, you better know what you're talking. If you're a dentist, people are going to lose teeth. If you're a home builder, the house could be crooked. Here, the worse you are, the better it is. You don't have to be perfect. You can always say, hey, I can get you in touch with my upline. I just got started. I don't know that yet, but you can get started. We love that fact that you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to be doing homework every night before you have a case as an attorney, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's none of that here. This is like, hey, we just get to do the exact same thing, keep it simple. And then we get to go on trips and travel and goof around because you don't have that stress. Like, there's absolutely, pretty much, when you win and succeed here and you have leader backed by leader.
Yeah, you get to do that, but the majority of your 71K people in your downline don't get to travel and goof around and make profit out of cold messaging people and recruiting them into your biz.
Generating income, the stress goes so down to zilch. And let's think about when you start. Now you don't have any leaders or no money coming in, but you really don't have stress because you didn't go to the bank, take out a big loan. Right. You don't have all the people, creditors coming after you. You're not stressful that way. You're like, if you could just act like a cool cat when you start, don't try to look desperate. Even if you're broke, you got to somehow not be a desperate person trying to prospect, because people can see right through it. You got to somehow get that out of you.
Well, we've been sued by major people. And
Why?
you wouldn't even know. Like, you wouldn't even know from our mouth or our face. We are the same. Even when we got...
What happened?
Okay.
Like going from a company to a company?
Yeah, company. We've only signed up twice.
Yeah.
But the second one we signed up got sued by the first one. And we weren't that big of names, but we would go to these big. It was big, $500,000. Most people wouldn't be able to pay to do that, but we were able to do it. But point is, we're just defending ourselves because we didn't do much. I mean, we hadn't
done anything in 7 years.
Yeah,
and then
because
we started doing something, their businesses tanked.
But I think it's a good lesson for people because we would go to this deposition and go to our convention the next day. No one even knew we were there.
Game face on.
No one knew. Nobody knew the whole time we ever did it. I mean, and we've had different type lawsuits and everything too. But point is that
Hang 10,
you don't
from his ski school.
They thought that the bare feet looked like their bare feet.
Yeah.
But
they saw they saw us at the
potential. They saw, oh my gosh, these guys are going somewhere.
Guys are
Let's squash them when we can.
But again,
we still won it, but it's still a lot of work.
On
it's But point is that you're going to go through some stuff in your life.
Yeah.
You can't show it in this. You got to push through a bit. Be a little more leather to your skin and
I think maybe too that people they don't like if they put a lot of money into it, they have more of a where they don't have that give up spirit.
Yeah.
Where because of it's such a low startup that they have more of a give up spirit.
Yeah.
And I mean, we are like going to a meeting in Tampa or something. I don't even know where we were going.
Yeah.
We get on 95. Our van completely breaks. The hood is smoking. I look at him and I go, we got to get to this meeting.
No cell phones back then.
No, we grab our hanging clothes. We grab our bag, my purse. We start running down I-95.
Yeah.
I've got my thumb out. Some guy is flying and he pulls over and he goes, he like threw open the car door and he goes, get in, hurry up before somebody sees us. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, Steve, our kids are with a babysitter. No one knows where we're getting in this car. And so we're driving with this guy and he's like, where do you want to go? And we're like, to the Palm Beach airport. We were like 7 minutes from there. We're going to rent a car. But see, most people would have said, oh, our car doesn't work. But no, we are determined. We're going to get there for our team. So, but a lot of people would say, no, my car's on the side of the road. No, we didn't care. Take the car.
What I'm hearing is obstacles don't really matter. You're going to find
any business you're in.
You use the obstacle.
Right,
you go through it with a positive attitude. You get smashed. You get criticized. You just keep a smile on your face. Keep moving. How many people on your team today currently?
We've been in where we're in now for about 16 months. Started just me and her, and over 71,000
71,000 people.
Months.
How many have you personally sponsored between the two?
Probably about 130.
130 turned into 71,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So you think about all that's underneath those people. And we got about a third probably that are seriously
And let me tell you, it was
building it.
phone call by phone call by phone call. Because when we left our last organization, it pretty much tanked. And we tried our hardest to make it happen. And then we just looked at each other and we literally, because we're Christians, we started praying for 1 year, the right company, the right product, the right ownership, and God's favor. And we knew absolutely when we saw this product that was everything that we had prayed for.
Right.
There was completely no more discussion. We were like, it was done.
Right.
Well, that's easy for her to say. This guy still had to make them phone calls.
Right.
And it don't matter who you are, calling people at what level of success you've had or didn't have. And we were down, if you kind of heard through that.
Sure.
We were down and we were able to pick ourselves back up. So that's very interesting. And I had a doctor friend of mine say, I tried that company with another doctor team and it will absolutely not
Never work. Yeah.
So like if somebody else has somebody, I have people all the time, even today saying such and such told me this isn't going to work or this and that. I'm like, okay.
What was your comment?
My doctor is, this is a very good friend of mine. Okay. And I said, watch me. Watch me. All right. So you got to like have some attitude. I don't care who you are. You could pull it out of yourself. And I think a big thing too is if you look at what you won in life like if you've ever won anything, most people have done something. I mean, even back in their gymnastics or something, did you win a tournament or did you do something in your life? Spelling bee. I mean, I never won a spelling bee. Don't worry. But
no, he did not win a spelling bee.
But you know what I mean? Like something you won.
We giggle because, Steve spelled that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
Well, we're okay. It's fun.
Where we were at, they never even have a presentation. So we had to make the presentation, and the guy that doesn't know how to spell is making the presentation. But at least they know it's me when they see the words.
Now we got to go back to a story. Okay, we're in the Atlanta Boat Show. We made this beautiful banner, and it's hanging up there. Right. So our booth is here. We got 3 or 2 boats. We're selling the whole store. It was just filled with
picture
clothes.
Like yesterday.
Yeah. The lines of people. He was signing autographs. We have a video playing of him with his, it was like a hot dog video, we called it. And
Gina's
then
walking around in her bikini.
And you had a blooper video that you played after that. But so here we are.
Some lady came up to me.
Yeah.
And says, I see your sign up there. It says, ski with professionals, but you spelled professionals wrong.
So that's when we go all the way back to the spelling.
Yeah, back to the 80s.
1987.
Yeah,
is that? Yeah.
So,
but that's okay.
Here's where I want to get to 160,000-ish. And you sponsored how many? About 130 or something like that?
No, it's 71,000.
71,000. Sorry.
130 people.
130 people, 71,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to get to is how do you turn?
Before they get into that, I'm just reading about the MLM they're in. It's LifeWave, which I don't think I have ever talked about them. I don't think I even watched a video on LifeWave before, but apparently they do like patches, which is so random. Like I just thought patches. God send them an MLM where they're gonna recruit people to sell patches that come with medical claims and income claims. LifeWave has been around since 2004. I'm just confused because they say they left Amway. I guess they left Amway recently. Right, they've been in Amway for decades, and then they left it for LifeWave. It's such a weird company to me. I don't know. If you want me to talk about them, please do let me know down below, and I'll make a video in the future. We can go through their products, maybe reviews, maybe a training. I don't know. See what those magical patches do.
130 people into 71,000.
Yeah.
Tell me about the systems and the idea of duplication that worked in order to be able to make that happen. Because you could say it's product, you could say it's timing, you could say it's compensation plan, all that stuff. I don't personally believe that.
Yeah.
What I believe is professionals keep things simple, find systems, hold those systems in place, and then create duplication within their team, and then develop leaders.
Right.
So in those 71,000, I keep getting the numbers wrong. How many of those people would you say are leaders? That you would consider leaders, approximately.
Yeah. Not as many as you'd like.
Right. Under 100?
Yeah. Yeah. Under 100.
Under 100 of them, leaders, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it, different levels of leadership. Some of them are earners and they're not leaders yet.
Right.
They needed to become leaders. So
before you get into this kind of talk, you should probably define to people what exactly do you mean when you say leader?
How do you take, and how many of the ones that you personally sponsored are in that 100?
Yeah.
How many?
Well, we just got awarded the #1 couple to help the most personals hit the highest rank.
So how many personals hit the highest rank?
About 20.
20.
Yeah.
So 20 out of the 100 and some.
Yeah.
Right.
Did something.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of people did a little.
Yeah.
And then you were able to turn that into 71,000 people in a reasonably short period of time.
Right.
So talk to me about the importance of simplicity, systems, duplication, and how you actually do it.
Right.
If you can break it down for another person, what are the tea leaves that somebody could read and say, I can use that in my business?
Right. Well, I think the first thing that we started was when we started making the calls, we called every single person. If we didn't have their number, we would message them, hey, give us a call, and and they would call us, or here's our number. Yeah. But we called everyone. And that's the power right there, because it's kind of like
versus what?
When you walk in an airplane and someone says to you, welcome aboard Delta Airlines. I mean, what do you feel? You feel like, oh, great, she's happy to be here. No, welcome aboard Delta Airlines. Do you know where your seat is? It's like, I'm just kind of using that as a little scenario.
So
but
when you say you called,
someone,
who are you calling?
Hey, I did this on purpose.
Our phone.
No. Who were you calling?
We did this on purpose. We did
Hold
this
on.
on
I just got to get clear.
Yeah.
Who were you calling?
And
Prospects or people on the
in
team?
my phone.
No.
People in
this
my
is at the
phone.
very, she's taking us back to
where we
zero.
started.
You're at zero.
We're
Which
at
I
zero.
think people need to know.
Yeah.
We did calls, and
Yeah.
calls are powerful.
Yeah.
Because like when you talk to me and you hear the energy in my voice, whoa, Merritt's got something going on. I got to check it out.
Yeah.
So you called
Yeah.
all of your prospects.
We personally did it because in this day and age, I wanted to prove to at least my baby boomer friends that you didn't have to go onto the internet and get your prospects. I'm not saying that people can't do that. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that can't. So I wanted to just make the calls or see the people in person. And I will tell you, in this day and age right now, it works.
Yeah.
It works really good. And I'm not saying that I didn't use a text to say, hey, I got to talk to you, but the call was when I pitched them. It wasn't a text to pitch them. Like this same doctor that said it won't work, he got in my business and said that it's still not working. I texted 200 people. I got no response. I said, I never told you to text.
Right.
I told you to call the people. So everyone they're looking for that shortcut. What's the shortcut I can post on social media, think I'm going to get a shortcut. I'm not saying that that's not a great down the road or when you're ready. But point is that if you know that making a phone call works, and one thing about online, as far as social media calling and prospecting is, if you never had them years of experience, 10,000 hours offline, in person, looking them in the eye, some rolling their eyes back. Like I can tell even on a phone call or on a social media that you're rolling your eyes back from what you're saying to me. So I'm picturing you in person. So if you don't have that experience, a lot of times you got to get that experience before you start doing all the stuff online, because you're going to have to go through probably more people because you don't even know that there's no relationship with them. But we just made phone calls out of our cell phones.
So let me ask. So 131, you said?
Yeah.
131 people. How many people did you talk to between the two of you to end up with 131? Just out of curiosity, generally, because you have a lot of experience, 30 years or so.
I actually
you say, okay,
didn't have
we're
a
going to go.
lot of no's.
No.
I have to
At
be
this
honest.
point
I
in
did not have a lot of
life,
no's.
I was blown away. I mean, we
Like
used to have
200, 300?
maybe 200 at the most.
Really?
At the most. I mean, there are more people open and looking
Absolutely
than I've ever seen in my life.
Hmm.
It is like slam dunk. They're open and they're looking.
And we build a lot of credibility with people. Like, so when we would call, they said, whatever you're doing, Steve, I'm in.
Yeah.
Because we
We only signed up twice in our life.
Mm-hmm.
so they knew our hearts.
If
they
you're
knew who
somebody
we
that's
were,
running
they knew our
around doing
work
stuff, you
ethic.
might have to work a little harder. Or if you don't have credibility like we did when we were in our 20s, you have to gain it. So don't.
I mean, they mentioned the lawsuit. I'm sure Amway would not sue the new company or whatever after they left if they didn't take a whole bunch of people from their Amway team. Like usually when reps leave, especially higher rank reps, when they leave their company for a different MLM company, a lot of the people are going to follow them to that other company as well. So I don't think that lawsuit was BS or over nothing. I think that they target like older audience as well, because he's keen on like not having to use social media to recruit and post about your business and stuff. That makes me think that they target a lot of older people that might not be as aware about MLMs and stuff. And they do have a reputation. They have a name for themselves because they had previous businesses. He was a world champion, whatever. So privilege, like not a lot of people have what they have.
Don't be so hard on yourself. But I told you how to save your time. Go find a couple that's been around for a little longer. They got a little more friends that have some credibility. So those young folks, they can win and succeed and have incredible results.
All right. So talk to me now.
Yeah.
You did that. So the lesson I get from that is in person, actual phone call, face to face is even better, but it's different than hiding behind text.
Yes.
Text can get you scale.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of rude to call somebody now before you text them. You got to kind of text them first. You have a second?
I didn't do that.
Do you have a minute? You didn't do that.
No.
You just
Never.
I mean, I have a question also. If you don't use social media, how are you going to get numbers of those people? I guess in real life? I don't know. I work remotely, so I forgot that some people actually talk to people in real life on a daily basis.
called them straight
Called
up.
them.
Yeah. All right, cool.
And I left a good message if I had to, but I mostly didn't tell them what I'm doing. I'm just saying,
just
I
call
got to
me.
talk to you.
We literally hit the top rank in 23 days.
Yeah.
And
It was a blur.
But we didn't even know we hit it.
Yeah.
We're like actually going out to dinner.
How do you know how to hit a top rank in a company in 23 days? You don't even know.
I mean, we would
No.
just,
You know.
we just
Just going.
made calls. We just worked. You know, the person hung up. We made another one.
So talk.
Do you mean you cross-recruited? Is that what you, well, like what calls? Who did you call? You called everyone in your phone. I'm gonna assume that everyone in your phone whose number you have is already possibly your downline or something. In Amway, used to be your downline. The highest rank in 23 days is that I don't think they could do that if they did not cross-recruit people from the other company.
Talk to me about systems. How did you sign up these 131 people? How long did it take you to sign the 131 up?
Okay.
About
Most of them all signed up quick.
No,
I mean, it was pretty fast.
over 100. I mean,
in the first 90 days,
90
let's
days.
say.
90
Yeah,
days, yeah.
90 days.
So most of them in the
Majority.
first 90 days.
Oh, let me help you on this system thing.
Yeah,
I know
please.
how important a system is, but I will say that I kind of wrote off what we had for a minute because I didn't want to get, meaning that it wasn't very good. It was a bit of a hodgepodge system that had gone on for a little bit. In fact, I even was part of it because I said, okay, what are we going to use? And they said, the upline said, well, we're going to use this site. And it said, be working. And there was a bunch of bumblebees and everything on there. Like, my guys are not going to go for this. So we like threw something together. It was completely hodgepodge, sites, everything. Somebody had even passed away that was the head person of the Facebook group. I mean, it was like, that's all we used. Okay. But point is that the reason why I bring this up, Eric, is because we didn't get hung up on trying to have everything perfect. Like some people want to get so perfect on the system that they missed it. Like they try to change it. They want to have it exactly
Better
their
just to
way.
start.
Yeah.
Just start
And
and,
there's a
use
time.
what you got. Use what you got.
What's the fundamentals of the system?
Yeah, the
Here's
fundamentals
something
today.
to show someone.
Yeah.
You know, introduce someone to
Yeah.
a tool or to
Yeah.
an event or to
Yeah.
a person.
The best thing we have going for us now, which we have an in-tune, perfectly run system now that's running, but it took us a little bit of time. But the point is that I didn't waste to do it. Like some people want to start their own Facebook group, right? That's a lot of work because you got all kinds of chatty people on there that really aren't building their business. And
It consumes your time in
consumes
the
your
wrong
time.
way.
You got to get out there with the people, whether you're on the phone or in person or on the Zoom. So the answer to your question is, you need we use a page. We use a one product landing page. So that landing page has all the answers for the newest person. Like if you're someone like me that I don't need a lot of information because I didn't go to school, right? So that's how I became a world champion. I can watch 2 videos, get excited. But a doctor, he might need to see, and I've never sponsored so many doctors in my entire career,
Amazing.
32 years, that I have in the last 16 months. I'm not going to say all personal, but a
Right.
lot of them.
Right.
And there's enough information on our landing page that has enough for the doctor. And you know, remember, if you think about almost every network company I've ever been in, it wasn't a team product landing page. It was the corporate page. The problem with the corporate page, and I'm not trying to pick on them, is you get
Boring.
lost in the minutia of first of all, the doctor looks to
Too
see
much
this
stuff.
product you're talking about, and they see the free trips, or they see me and my friends counting our money before they get to the product. That turns them off. It can't have any network marketing appeal. So that's what this is. And it's for anyone. The second thing is we have a Zoom weekly system. Now, at first we only had a Wednesday and a Saturday, and we blew it up to the point now we add throughout the week, and we have a Spanish one. And now we're opening up into different time zones
So
around the world. So they point
conversation to
the page
page
to the Zoom.
to the Zoom.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes put a page to a 3-way to the Zoom or
Yeah.
page to
Yes,
Zoom
of course.
to
Right.
Of course.
3-way after?
Yeah, either way, all those can fit in. The 3-way can fit in anywhere there, but definitely the 3-way to help them. But it doesn't have to be. Some of them don't need it, but it's always available to do it. Now, if you as a leader or want to be a leader, you got to get up to speed. I mean, I hate to say my top dog never went to school either. All right. So he just happened to watch all the videos and he sounds like me when he's talking.
Yeah.
So if you just can start listening to your
He's
upline,
teachable.
got to be
He's
humble,
hungry.
got to be teachable. And it's
They
amazing.
dropped out, him and his wife, at 10th grade.
And he's got like a
So
voice that,
Anyone.
like, when you hear me talk, you know that, do you want optimal health? And would you like to take an advantage of an opportunity lifetime? No, I don't want optimal health. Okay, is your wife around? I mean, you know when I leave that the answer you gave me was really dumb. You know what I mean?
Making health claims like that is, in my opinion, really dumb as well.
And your wife might even told you. So whether you do it
Why'd you
or
say
not,
that?
and that's what you got to get. You got to somehow dive into that when you're prospecting. So anyways, you point to the one product landing page. then you talk to them either on, if you had to do a 3-way or not, but you get them on the Zoom and you let the leaders do the work. At first it was just Gene and myself, but if you understand leadership, you do not want to be the person. That's another reason that leaders, they don't make it. Well, I'm not going to say they don't make it. They might be successful, but they're wrapped up in that company, that their business, because they do all the work. They want to be the superstar. We don't want to be the superstar.
No.
We want everyone else to be the superstar. We're just the brains behind those superstars. So that,
AKA, we want to do the least possible that we can and let everyone else work from us because we get all the benefits from our downline's hard work. That is what I heard right there.
that is a very big lesson for a lot of leaders to learn. They try to be the person. They want to be the person on every Zoom. We don't want to be on the Zooms. We started because I don't want it to mess. I want to make sure the message gets correct to begin with. But once I hear people repeating the same message, they're on the Zoom.
Right.
Same thing with our convention. We've already had our own team convention. At the time, it was the biggest convention the company had ever had in 19 years. Now, at that convention, there were a lot of myself and Gina on the stage. Not that we didn't put everyone up there, but I wanted to make sure that the message come across exactly properly.
Yep. Loud and clear.
To everyone, so that now we've got a team of leaders that really know what they're talking about. And that's really what you want to be looking for when you're looking for them leaders, because you want to highlight and lift them up as long as they're coachable and staying humble and not acting like, hey, now this is me, because we all are in this together, which is interesting. So that's how a system really needs to work.
It's a well-oiled machine.
We do have our own team.
What happens? What happens when strong people come in and say, we want to do it different?
Well, I mean, one thing about today's day, which is a little bit different than when we started in the 80s, where you could isolate your team.
Yeah.
Nobody knew anything else was going on in other groups or any other networks. You could isolate, okay? Now everybody knows. So I've kind of learned to be flexible, because if you're kind of a Gestapo or you're kind of a person that, oh, you're going to do this and you just tear them up, you're going to lose a friend. They're going to go away anyway. So love on them, do your best. But usually those aren't the ones I put on the stage or the Zoom, because because when you highlight somebody, then that person is going to be seen in your, on your page, and people are going to go search already for their social media and stuff. So they have to know that if you're not going to follow, all of us are on the same page. We all are a team, though. If you have something that you want to contribute, we're open to listening to every single person. Of course, somebody's got to make the last decision, but sometimes it's better to be, agree to not disagree, disagree, agree not to disagree.
Have at least a good front face.
Yeah.
It's like negotiate on the substance and let everybody have their own style.
Yeah.
Like try and.
Wait, did he say agree not to disagree? Did I miss the whole point? Maybe I was half listening.
Get as much so you don't confuse.
I've seen that so far in our short time, but that's only a short time. But most people understand that it's more power as a team, all of us together, than trying to do something on your own. Because once you're on your own, now you got to be the person. We don't want to be the person. That's why we got all the team. We want everyone else to be the people running it. So that's
I think
very powerful.
very big factor is in our system, we are lifting up all the other speakers and leaders.
Yeah.
They might not be the perfect speaker or leader, but we're building them up where they see it's not a Steve and Gina show. And that's probably the biggest thing in a system, that it is a team, a complete team. Because a lot of people try to be like, we could be it. We could be just,
easy.
You could be like, so much Steve and Gina, but we're not that way. Because if you don't build up and develop leaders, I mean, where do you want your business to go? Little bit or massive?
Yeah. Or short-term or long-term.
And within our system, we have personal development. We've got our book of the months. We've got everything that people need to know, old school, and a lot of them do it on audio. So that's no problem, but we're teaching them the leadership skills. So we're all like,
how important is the personal development in your group?
Probably more important than knowing how to build the business.
Really?
Because knowing how to build a business is like, and the reason why we do the thing that she said too, is that, remember when I went back earlier, that sometimes it can get boring if it's the same presentation, but when you have a plumber this week, a doctor next week, a manager the next week, then me and her come on. So it's like, you got all these different personalities. So it kind of brings it into, even though it's the same presentation, different people sound different when they're presenting.
It takes great emotional maturity to do something you've done a million times like it's the first time you did it.
Yeah.
So like, you think about somebody who's been playing Phantom of the Opera on Broadway for 20 years, 8 shows a week.
Mm-hmm.
How do and the one person seeing it for the first time, how do they give that performance?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, that doesn't really apply to our business. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was taught early. I had a great mentor who taught me that if you treated every single event like it was the last, the biggest,
absolutely.
the best, and you needed to be nodding with the presenter and you needed to be taking notes, even though you've heard the presentation 8,000 times, you need to be nudging the person next to you. You need to have the right enthusiasm. You need to be introducing people to others, doing all these things.
Right.
I learned these fundamentals of bringing fresh energy into very repetitive stuff. And if you're immature in our business,
bringing fresh energy or faking it, because you already heard and you're still trying to hype other people up by pretending that you're hearing it for the first time and that you're hyped up. What?
You can you'll just start adding things just to do it. And pretty soon you've lost duplication, you've lost simplicity, and you did it because you got bored. The prospect is the same.
Yeah.
You felt like you needed to add more stuff to it.
The power of the system is amazing, because like a couple weeks ago, one of our speakers, Kevin and Emily, they're doing our opportunity Zoom, and it's like clockwork.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, everyone's wondering, how does this product work? But do you know how your cell phone works?
Yeah.
No, you don't. So it's like every time
and a lot of leaders
hear,
grab that, it's a very easy way to help.
What? I mean, it's different for a cell phone and it's different for something that you guys claim can heal different stuff. It's not the same thing.
On your next conversation when that comes up.
We
But
love it.
We might have never said that, never have, so that's interesting.
I can remember that one time we were at the Palm Beach Gardens Mall. We were sitting at a restaurant, and it was a very sharp girl and her husband. I think he owned Cheney Brothers.
Yeah.
We're sitting at this restaurant, and the gentleman was a CPA.
Yeah.
And what did he say to you?
He actually said
the power of it.
He tried to take over the conversation at lunch with all the other prospects. And
it was
said,
like,
guys, I know how these things work.
Yeah.
They're repetitive. You keep doing the exact same thing. Like he's kind of like, it's a Debbie Downer. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, kind of like being a CPA, huh? Because that's what his career was. I mean, and so point is that keeping it simple and duplication, you got to grasp it. You got to understand that's the way the business works. You want that. Yeah. That's the simplicity.
He might not have went to college, but God definitely blessed him with wisdom. Like
Some
for
street
that,
smart.
yeah, for the street smart, because that was such a powerful. And the guy's like, yeah, you're right. So in a conversation.
One thing that you guys say is be predictable, no drama.
Yeah.
Yes.
What does that mean by be predictable, no drama? And how does that affect your business?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing that people are looking for when you're sending somebody to an opportunity Zoom is you want to make sure, like I've had a lot of uplines. I'm not saying they're my sponsors, but uplines or even meetings I went to that you brought them to a meeting and it was so strange that you didn't even get what it was all about. It was wild how crazy it was. I mean, I'm saying to myself, how did they even get to that rank? Right? One thing about us and one thing that we teach our team is you want to be predictable. So when the people come on, you're saying something they know they're not going to be embarrassed. You put a new guest on, they better be saying the exact same thing that everybody can relate to. And we know from experience that there can be a lot of drama if you just start saying whatever you want. We've had to have meetings till like 2:00 in the morning because people from stage will say something crazy weird to the audience, but that'll offend people. Like you got to be really on your game to not offend the people. I mean, hopefully you're the kind of person that doesn't want to offend people, but there are people like that.
There are.
So you just have to be predictable.
Says a person who was so condescending in part 1 that it really got me annoyed at one point. Also, she mentioned another woman dressing slutty. I'm pretty sure that can offend people out there, because I was a little bit offended as well.
And that's how you really gain the respect of everyone, because they know okay, Steve and Gina are going to be on that Wednesday night opportunity meeting. We know we can put as many guests as we want. They always say the same thing. They're always on their game. They're fired up. They'll be on time. You know, even being on time is predictable. You need to make sure you're showing up. If you say you're going to Dallas, you're there. If you say you're going to go here to Las Vegas, we're here. You know what I mean? Like, you need to make sure that you're accountable. That maybe that's why when we picked up the phone 16 months ago, people knew we were that kind of person.
Right.
You know, that kind of goes by however why can't you pick up the phone and you didn't go and, you know, you went to school and nobody listens to you. I don't know.
Right.
But I just know that I pick up the phone and people at least will listen. I'm not going to say that they all signed up. Some were negative. Like I said, my doctor friend and other people, when we first started in the industry, all of our family were pretty much negative about it. We used to call their friends that we met through their friends, and they were like, how come you're calling our friends? Like, oh my gosh, well, I thought they were kind of our friends now because we met them, you know, but we won't stop call your friends. But now they love us because they're all hitting the highest rank. It's like, at least her sisters and my brother-in-laws are at the highest rank in the last 2 companies, which says a lot about her growing up. A lot of times when people hear that, her and her 2 sisters have been at the highest rank, both of our companies. And they say, oh, so it's really Gina that's the brains behind it. Because it's interesting how those two, you rarely meet 3 sisters at the highest level twice. That tells you how their parents brought them up.
Yeah,
like she was talking about, you know.
So let me ask you guys this.
Has nothing to do with how they were brought up. It's all about the timing. And for the second company, it's cross recruitment, in my opinion, is most likely what happened.
Kind of final question. I'll ask both of you. And this has been great. We come from the same school.
Yeah.
As far as hard work, determination, stay focused on fundamentals. Systems are critical. If it's all about you, then it has to always stay about you. You got to figure out a way to develop leaders within your organization. At this stage of life, because I know the answer for myself, at this stage of life, having had the experience, having had success, financially, if you wanted to, I'm sure you could chill.
Yep.
And a lot of people our age, that's their goal.
Yeah.
Is to chill.
Yeah.
So I'll start with you, Gina. Why are you running as hard as you are right now? Why are you building a new empire? What's the future hold? You know, and what's driving you to do it?
Well, I think probably when we went to our last convention, our entire team and Steve and I made a commitment to step it up. So step it up. Yeah, step it up. Like everyone in the room that came to our room that, you know, like we had our own team meeting, they're all like, oh, let's step it up. Yeah. But I think that because it's not, if you're having fun on your journey, it's not like, I'm not sweating. I'm not building a dock. I'm not building a house where it's hard work. That's hard work. Yeah. This is not really hard work. Maybe you're going to get a little uncomfortable at times, but the rewards that you get are so phenomenal. And for him and I, it's like, I know where I came from.
You mean the rewards that the majority of people never get?
I know I got a 50% pay cut at work. I know we had to make this work. It had to happen. So I think that I know that when I meet the next family, maybe the wife is engaged and the husband is kind of like just watching. And I tell her, hey, keep doing it. When he sees the money coming in, baby, he'll be all on board. But it's almost like we're obsessed. I don't want to say addicted, obsessed, but we are. We're maniacs. We're complete maniacs because we love helping and teaching and building people. And because we remember where we came from. We needed this so bad. And it was something that we had took time and learned the basics, learned the fundamentals.
Where did they come from? They came from a really privileged position. Why are we now saying, okay, her parents, she mentioned her parents like bankrupted like 3 times or whatever, but I feel like she's trying to imply the 2 of them came from what? You were a flight attendant, your paycheck got cut. Sure, that sucks. You said it yourself, you got it back later. He had his own business. He was a world professional athlete. Like what Where did you come from? There's a lot worse. People get made redundant. People get fired. People lose their entire jobs, their salaries. It could have been a lot worse. I'm just saying you come from a pretty privileged position in my eyes.
Did skill set, read a lot, learned a lot. Didn't think that we still, to this day, every Saturday, we have a teaching at 1:00, and him and I both, not just me, not just him, we both have a notepad and a pen. Why? Because you're always going to learn something from someone. And remember, when you write something down, you remember it 90%. But it's just little things that they say, little things that they did, little obstacles. Or one of our guys, Mike, he says, you know what? You meet this person, but then they're not interested. You curve it around. I mean, we learn things like that. You shift. You're running into someone. They say, well, I'm not interested. Then you shift this way. It's like, you don't take it to heart. If people don't want it, maybe they don't see it. Maybe it's not the timing for them. You don't ever take them off your list until someone says, do not call me anymore. But I mean, I don't even think we've ever in our whole industry have had someone say, don't call me anymore. Because we leave a good feeling. Our hearts are right. Our hearts are pure. We know what we're doing in this industry. And I'm telling you, it's like taking it by storm. And it's amazing the people that are from our system that have gotten engaged in building and what they're building. It's like an empire.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Steve.
Okay. Well, we were praying for that year for our phones to ring. So we want our phones to ring. It was really boring going through the rest of your life without your phone ringing. So we want it. Now, sometimes Gina will say, I'll say to her, oh, this person's calling me, and I'm kind of might be a little bit negative, not should be, but I could be. And she's like, remember, you prayed for your phone to ring. And I'm like, you're right. And I can't wait to talk to him. So I mean, I don't think there's some people that want to just ride out to the sunset and not do anything, but there's other people that, hey, I want to make a difference in as many people's lives as I possibly can while I'm still around.
If a family can't even buy, let's just say they want to go get an Escalade, a nice Escalade, even if it's a GMC, Yukon or whatever. Come on, to put all their little children in to be safe.
Yeah.
You know, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we know that with what we have, we can do it help people with less stress.
It's really interesting that she's saying what she's saying here, when earlier they literally admitted that out of more than 71,000 people in their downline, only 176 are successful, whatever that. They never defined what exactly that means. How much money are they profiting? They never said anything like that, but they said, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and say 176 people out of 71,000 people. How are you helping the rest of them? The rest of them are not making any kind of profit. The rest of them are losing money, working for free. Some of them, I'm sure, going to debt trying to work this business. How the hell are you helping those people
get where they need to go? There is dreams. People got to dust them off, really.
Yeah.
Is after the
pandemic,
they got to dust their dreams off, because this network marketing industry is so on fire now. Like, for us, we're just getting started.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm 61, but I feel like I could run circles around 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, I don't know where you're going. Do you like just sitting and counting your money? Not me, man.
She's 61. I'm just gonna say, wow. Network marketing has been down. Network marketing is down. Like, people are leaving. They leave it for MRR and other stuff. Like, network marketing is down. What are you talking about? These guys are either saying this stuff on purpose, or they have no idea what's going on. Like, they need a social media account.
So passionate when the person texts me or they call me and they go, oh my gosh, I just broke whatever rank it is that the person broke. And I'm like, you are so amazing. You take a single mom and you can completely shift where she's going and what she's got, because she's not alone. She's got us, where we connect arms together, get them to the finish line.
So let's go back to the very first time that I saw the circles. Okay. I seen the circles. My eyes lit up. I start talking to people. I love what I'm doing as a pro athlete at the time.
Yeah, loves it.
I have to admit, my biggest calling, you're going to love this, since I've been in network marketing, is to change people's perception of what we got our hands on. Nobody to this day, the most public, you'll interview big business people and you'll say, what would you do if you lost everything? And they say, I would start a network marketing company. And it's blown. The other people can't even believe, they think it's a joke, but they were serious.
Yeah.
So that is a very big goal for me to this day, especially right now. I mean, I didn't think with as down as it was 16 months ago that could happen. But now I'm seeing in not only our business, but in other companies, this explosion happening. So I really believe I've got more of a vision than I ever did before that we can help change people's perception. And it has to do with being classy. It has to be with doing the right thing. It has to be with not throwing people under the bus, not being rude to somebody, being positive. And really the message of this whole industry is the message of hope. Because this gal on a plane, even though she loved doing what she's doing, she could see at 30, somebody doing what she's doing 30 years longer than her, 60 years old, in the tube. That's her in the tube if she doesn't do anything different. But it's not only the flight attendant. The real estate person knows. I don't care how big deals you closed. There's another gentleman or gal that closed just as big a deals and they're still across the desk from you. Same thing as you're a dentist, a doctor, an attorney. Even if you're a very high-end attorney, you still got to keep your foot on the gas.
Yeah.
When you start helping leader back by leader, the business in network marketing takes on a mind of its own.
Oh, yeah.
You can't stop it if you tried. So if you do want to you go see your daughter's piano recital, or you want to go take a vacation or have a vacation after vacation, you got the opportunity. But most people, that's changing their perception. They think that you're still working hard. No, when you have a system, you got an upline that knows what they're doing. You don't have to keep your foot on the gas like you do in any other career, any other profession. I haven't seen anything like this. And you could hear the passion in my voice that I still love this industry. And we haven't tried to be, as you know, the king,
we're not full of
king
ourselves.
speakers or whatever in the industry. We're just like, no one hardly even knows us. We're just rolling up our shirt sleeves to help people win and succeed. But now that I see this window that we can all really change the mindset of what people think around the world because they're open, I think we all need to step it up, like Gina said, and really be real with the people, but go to work and help everybody win and succeed, and not look for a we only know how to build it from the ground roots, the grassroots. We only know how to build it from organically build. And that's what I love about this industry. I've not liked, as I got more into it, you hear the different maneuvers and way that people build it. I'm talking about building it honestly so that everyone knows when they're brand new, you did it the same way they had to do it. And that really gives you credibility with those people when they know that, hey, you had to roll up your shirt sleeves, you had to make the phone calls, you had to help put the people in your business just like we had and help the people. And that gives you a lot of credibility than just saying, oh, I got some, way to special opportunity or whatever to be in a certain spot or whatever. That really, to me, ruined our industry. And I'd really like to bring it back to the way that it really was meant to be.
Yeah. Well, Steve and Gina, I appreciate you taking the time. I'm glad you're getting a little bit more loud and maybe a little bit more known inside of the profession.
Okay, I don't think we need to hear any more of that. This was even longer than the first part. It was a wild ride. It's 2 long videos, so if you made it this far, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. That's a nice free way to support my channel. And big shout out to my channel members as always. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.